Hey guys, in this video we'll be making future bass music. We're going to combine the styles of Zedd and the Chainsmokers. I'd like to thank Output for sponsoring this video, and we're going to be using Arcade for the majority of this project. It's got loops and samples are organized into over 4,400 playable packs. I can just select any line sampler and get inspired with a few clicks. Arcade comes with a ton of kits that you can download as a sampler or instrument, and each sample can be tweaked to perfection. This is by far the best sampler plugin out there. Get a 30-day free trial with 50% off on your first paid month from the link in my description. Let's get right into the video and make an amazing future bass song with Arcade. Let's start with a voice sampler. Choose the key of the song and get inspired. Each key in the piano roll is routed to a sample.
Have no place, stars in my eyes. Ooh,
I like this pattern. I'd like to play with formant and this pulsating effect. The stepper FX gives it that nice stutter vibes that the Chainsmokers have. With the reverb, the stutter vocals sound incredible. Now I'd like to find a vintage piano to build chords around. Let's look for instruments instead of sampler. Incredible. I love how it's turning out with these output FX. I'm automating low-pass EQ of the Arcade piano to go from intro to verse 1. Adding the filtered wah-wah FX helps me to fit in the guitar even when the chords are different. The guitar is filtered and automated to open the cutoff when the beat enters. Finally, I want to add an ad-lib, which I might also use as a vocal chop in the drop. The idea is to pitch the vocals up. To make things interesting, I have randomly automated the format shifting. There's a trick I use where I distort vocals a lot and smooth it out with reverb. It adds such a jack you kind of sound to it. Now, I'll add ambience. With these vocal ambiances, I want to add a music box kind of thing. Going in for counter melodies as well. Now for the ear candies, I'm duplicating this bell kind of sound and pitching it down to go with the underlying drums. Let's make our own tonal snare. For this, I'll pick this sample and filter sweeps. I'm too lazy to program drums, so I'm going to use Arcade for this too. Towards the build-up, I am automating these FXs to reverb out. I just found this jazz sampler. This would be cool to use later. All right, now I want to add a deep reese bass. I'm going to filter this out and process it. I love using this to add punch to the bass line. Sounds good. Now we'll make a simple build-up with basic snares and risers. I'm in love with the vibe. It has got that aggressive feel to it. Arcade does give you that extra edge. These are the chords. I'm going to be using LFO on both sine and saw layers for the drop chords. Sounds epic. I'll show you how I did the drums later. Let's take these chords to the next level by adding a wavy choir. I want this to sound as dry as possible. It sounds randomized, which is what I want. The idea is to make the layers work together, not individually. I grabbed this vocal sample and added the same LFO. It's time to start bringing key verse elements in drop to glue it together. I've left pockets in drop chords, which will be filled by these vocal shots. I am chopping some more vocals. For the processing, I am distorting and adding reverb. That's it. These minute details add so much more emotion. To sum things up, we are using unique sounds from arcade as an instrument, as well as a sampler, and combining those with synths. For drums, I usually start with a simple pattern. This tonal snare has great fundamentals. Now we can start throwing in percussions. The rides and cymbals come in the second part with a zip Foley. To make hi-hats cut through, I'll pan it left and right at the sprinkly section. Less is more. I want to make a very fast-moving arpeggio. I want a glitchy feel in the drop background. I'll be using an instrument from arcade for this. For the processing, I'll just be adding delay with some EQ. For the bass line, we just need a thick sublayer with a gritty top layer. I'm running it through the same chain as Reese bass and verse. It follows the same LFO as the chords. Lastly, a washed-out hover, which harmonizes with the chords, following the same rule of distortion with reverb. With this, our drop is done. I got this guitar recommended to me, and it blew my mind. I am going to use this in the intro and outro. It sounds so glitchy.